headed back out to Lake Fork to Pope's Landing. The recovery went on last night, late yesterday evening. Did not work out very well. Went through an entire tank of air, never found what I was looking for. The bottom under that Marina slip, and each one of those boat slips, is so nasty. It's so full of shit, metal pipes sticking out everywhere. There's fish habitat things where people have dropped trees into it where they can just fish off the dock. There's fishing line everywhere. I got caught in line multiple times last night. It's complete blackout. It's about 25 feet down. I pulled all kind of fishing rods up and gave them to the customer, but anyhow, there's hooks laying everywhere, hanging in the middle of the water. I mean, it's not a good situation. So the customer lost his cell phone, keys, and wallet that was in a black, like a satchel man purse type of deal. Leaned over and it fell off his shoulder, and it really didn't go straight down because I looked all over the place and it just didn't go straight down. So it had to have kind of drifted as it went down. So there's only about a 12 by 12 area really to search inside that little slip. That boat, that Marina, that part of Pope's Landing's got, there's probably 15 slips in it. They're all empty. It's just kind of where everybody just really sits and fishes at. But anyhow, I had to drag up last night after I went through a tank of air. It got to be pretty dark, so I had some stuff I had to do this morning, so I told them we were going to come back tomorrow, which today, and give it another shot. Going to do a different type of search on it. It's very easy to get lost under there. Very easy. You're holding on to one stick, kind of moving around, kind of feeling your way around, because like I said, you can't see anything unless your flashlight is on it. You move from kind of like one brush pile to the next, and the next thing you know, you're like 2 slips down, and you didn't realize you moved that far. So very easy to get lost. So we're going to try to do it a little different today. I'm going to basically rope that entire area off. That way I know where my perimeter is. That way I don't kind of veer out from that perimeter, and then conduct a grid search within that roped out square. So that should work a little bit better, hopefully. But it's just so it's so trashy under there. Like I said, there's so much shit I got caught up on last night. Hooks, trees, fishing line, catfish lines, like real thick stuff that ended up wrapping around my tank, and it just wasn't good. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to cut a bunch of shit before I start searching, and kind of go from there. But when you're at the bottom of this particular lake, it's so mushy. It's just like soup that when you don't even have to touch the bottom, but if you kind of like just move next to the bottom, it just stirs up so much stuff and it just blacks it out, and then you can't even see your flashlight light. So this is 100% field. There's tires. I mean, you're sticking your hands in tires. You don't even know what really you're putting your hands into. So hopefully nothing big comes out and grabs a hold of them. There are a lot of alligators in this lake, so that's always a concern. So anyhow, hopefully it'll go better today, because I was just very disappointed yesterday. So anyhow, stay with me. If you like it, follow along, subscribe, whatever you do on YouTube or Facebook, however it works. Come dive with me. Basically, check my computer before I drop in, make sure my air is good. I hold my mask. That way, when I hit the water, it don't flop off my head. My buoyancy control device, or BCD vest, is aired, so I don't just plunge straight down into the water. This is where I start dropping down. It's about 20, average is about 22, 23 foot in this area. Most of it is about 20 foot. So this is my tagline. that I'm guiding myself down to the bottom. It's connected to the top of the pier, and I just guide myself down through it. You never know what you're going to drop into. It can be pretty scary. Definitely spooky. Here I'm getting down close to the bottom. This PVC piping that you see is basically a fish habitat that people will drop down into the water and fish around it. So being that it's made out of PVC, it's easier for hooks not to get caught up in it. So it kind of looks different ways. Down at the bottom of this marina, which is pretty much most marinas, there's so much stuff at the bottom. The floor is just riddled with trash, cinder blocks, ropes that people have had trees tied onto to fish around. But you can see just how much stuff is laying around. So trees like this, you're pretty much having to crawl through and look underneath them. Is how I'm looking for this particular bag. The line you can see hanging down right there that keeps getting away, that's a cable that somebody had hanging that kept getting tangled up in my air tank. So total, this is like the 4th or 5th or 6th rod and reel that I've pulled up in here. What I decided to do, as you can see this strobe light, is I resurfaced because I kept getting turned around under the water. So I resurfaced, grabbed another light, dropped back down with it, and attached it to the tag line. So the premise behind this is once you get out so far, being that I'm unable to pretty much tie a tether to that tag line because there's just so much stuff in the water, I'd constantly get tangled up. But if you get out so far and you get turned around, what you can do is you can shut off all your lights, sit there in the pitch black, and just kind of scan around looking for the faint glow of your strobe light, and then you know what direction that you need to return back to in order to restart your search pattern. So what I'm about to show here is I've gotten out so far, I'm I'm not sure what direction I need to go back to, so you can see it completely blacks out. I've shut all my lights off, and you can see my dive computer right there. I will shut this light off, and in the distance you can kind of see, you can see that blinking up in the top left hand corner. Once I saw that glow blinking, I knew the direction that I needed to go back to, so I turned all my torches on or lights and headed back that direction to restart the outward search. You can see here is another rod that I am going to bring up and give to the customer. I think between the 2 days I probably got about 6, 7, 8 rod and reels that I just brought up and gave to the customer. So there's a couple $100 in rod and reels at least. There's a line right there that was hanging down from the dock that also kept getting tangled up on me. I'm not sure what they at some point had it hooked to, but stuff like that's very dangerous, getting hooked up underwater and not being able to get out of a situation. You'll see here we're at another point where I've gotten turned around and I've shut all my lights off, just kind of scanning the area looking for a faint glow of the blinking strobe light. So the only light that's going right now is just the light that's attached to my hand. My face mask lights are off. Kind of moving around through the water, kind of seeing what I'm bumping into. Because hey, after all, you never know what you're going to slide into in black water like this. So at this point I've found the direction I need to go back to, so I've turned all my lights back on and restarted my search pattern. I've reached another point that I've become entangled in some line, so I'm just pulling my dive knife out to cut my way out of it. This happened to be 550 cord, if anybody knows what 550 cord is, so there's no just tearing that. Another entanglement that I've gotten into, this was fishing line that got wrapped around me, and I had to pull the dive knife out and cut my way out of it because I was dead in the water right there. Yet another rod and reel that we're going to bring up and give to the customer. All right, we're back at another spot where we're going to shut all the lights off and scan the area to try to reorient myself, looking for that faint glow of the flash and strobe. So you'll see and notice that we'll go completely black out here in just a second. I'll start holding my breath longer because these lights, if you listen closely underwater, they'll emit a tone when they're on or when they're in strobe mode. And if you're not able to see it, sometimes you can basically use it as a beacon, and you can kind of just adjust your head, turn your head a certain direction, and you can kind of hone into that very faint tone, and it'll help. But here you can listen how quiet it goes, and you can just hear clicking. So I'm at the bottom of the lake, standing in pitch black. So I'm actually turning my head very slowly. You can't really tell here because it's blacked out. But I'm turning very slow in the water, looking for that faint strobe in the distance. So pretty much, I was so far away from it that I wasn't really able to find it, wasn't able to hone into the faint tone of it. So I'm actually going to end up surfacing here shortly and then dropping back down. But something, imagine this if you will. You're standing down at the bottom of the lake, pitch black, all your lights are off, you're holding your breath, and all you can hear is the distant clicking or whatever noise happens to be underwater. You know you're standing in sticks, trees, so you don't have a clue what's fixing to touch you. I always think it takes a certain type of mindset to be able to do this type of stuff. Black water, you can't see anything, you're just listening. Blacked out, trying to find it. You can see the dive computer, we're at 12 foot, 11 foot, coming up slowly, 10 foot, 9 foot, coming up slow. This is where I'm resurfacing to get my bearing back. So I'm going to swim back over to my tagline area. I'm going to drop back in. We're going to drop down to about 20 foot. We're at 7 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19. You'll start seeing the bottom coming in, or trees coming into view. Efficient habitats. So I'll go back to searching this area. Again, it's a very methodical type of search because you've got to pretty much lift everything up as slow as you can, because when you move anything underwater like this, just been sitting forever, the muck just falls off of everything and it starts muddying up the water to where you can't see anything. So basically I've started back over again, moving around. You can see here I've pulled out what I believe to be what I'm looking for. I open it up to verify. That's a wallet. You can see some cash in it. So at this point, found what we're looking for. It only took 2 days.
Yep, there we go. Time to go home. Thank you, God.
So I'm going to surface with yet another rod and reel and the satchel with the customer's phone, a calculator, his wallet, cash, and some other stuff in it.
There you go. We got it. Where's your...
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Woo! All right, we are headed home. Or I'm headed home. Just left Lake Fork, Pope's Landing. Finally found this customer's man purse with his whole life in it. Phone, calculator, old school calculator, iPhone, wallet, all of his stuff. Everything still works. It's been under the water for 2 days at about 20-25 foot. Anyhow, I guess it took about an hour or so today. Yeah, pretty happy about that. So he was retired military, retired Army, very nice gentleman. There was 3 of them. Him, his nephew, and his friend. Very nice fellas. I saw his hat, said he was prior military. So I asked him. He said, "Yep, he retired." I said, "Man, you know what? It's on the house today. It's on the house. We're gonna pay it forward. 2 days of diving. It's on the house. Glad you get all your stuff back." So, anyhow, my reputation is still intact. I was kind of worried there for a minute after last night. God dang, still got lost in there today, but came out on top. It's all good. Anyhow, if you like it, thumbs it up, subscribe to it, share it, whatever, all that good stuff. Come dive with me.